culture, it has to drive consumerism in a big way because it is dependent for its revenue on advertisers, on fast-moving consumer goods. So on the other hand, it also has the moral responsibility of maintaining a balance to ensure that consumerism, which is leading to depletion of our precious natural resources, which is contributing to pollution. It could be an air conditioner, it could be a car, which is leading to environmental degradation, depletion of the ozone layer, you name it, cutting down of trees, deforestation, huge consumption of power from conventional sources of energy. So there is a contradiction between the market forces and the commitment of the media. And it is this contradiction that has to be balanced out, which is the biggest challenge. Of course, we have always been talking about the role of media, role of development journalism. But then, development journalism is not just about reporting from the villages, reporting agriculture, reporting the rural areas. Dr. Praveen Singh, I remember you used to run a magazine dedicated to agriculture, rural areas. But the role when it comes to sustainable development is to ensure that even as we develop as a society, as a nation, we have to ensure that these resources last beyond our generation. That is a great responsibility. What is the legacy that we are leaving for our younger generation? It is the biggest challenge today. So, do we even bother? How many journalists are even aware, honestly, of the younger generation about the MDGs? How many people are aware? Maybe in our school, in our media schools, we do, go through the SDGs and the MDGs. But beyond that, where is the sensitization? Where is the awareness? When there is a demand for rapid industrialization, are we also factoring in environment? But this is a catch-22 situation. We need industries. We need development to ensure that our younger generation is adequately employed. We need to generate employment. These are challenges. So we push for industrialization. But at the same time, the big challenge is that in the long term, are we somewhere, increasingly, we are encroaching upon environment. This is a challenge. And today you see in December, in the month of December, maybe except for the last couple of days, it was so hot. Right now I am in Bhopal. You are all in Delhi. Till 2-3 days back or last week, it was so warm. Was it the same situation, say, 5 to 10 years back? I've spent a lot of decades in Delhi. Where by September, even I remember in Diwali we used to wear half sweaters. This is global warming which is taking place. But how much of discussion do you see about that? There is the ocean, the sea levels. Are you looking at that? There is so much of erosion taking place. Islands have started disappearing. The sea levels are rising. The glaciers are melting at a rate faster than ever before. But what is it that we are promoting? This is something that we need to. We are all concerned about pollution. Once this winter starts setting in, I would say the conventional winter. Now the winters come late in December. But say, then we talk about Parali, we talk about Diwali, we talk about all the pollution. But after that, we just forget about it. We move on to the next subject. The way we take up issues, that itself is not sustainable enough. We are not sustaining the momentum of these issues. I remember an old advertisement. I am sure Siddharth would be remembering. In our younger days in bike, they used to have an advertisement. I think it was Hero Honda, I think. That fill it, shut it, forget it. That used to be the advertisement. So it seems like that. That you just put out something as a ritual every winter, and then we just, shut it and then forget it. We feel that we have done our obligation, we have to do some Parali stories, we have to do some, it's like, earlier, I remember in many newspapers, they would take last year's photograph of the Eid and publish it, because all photos are similar, that you would be embracing each other and saying Eid Mubarak. So the photos doesn't make, but these days of course you can get caught. But those days I remember any old photographs from the file will do. So similarly, we have the same pattern of doing stories without going deep into the factors which are causing that. Is it such superficial causes that is leading to climate change? Or do we not need to go deep? I think that these issues, unfortunately, are not finding. I mean, you would find about every day. I am in Madhya Pradesh, and in Bhopal, it is not at all a surprise if the tigers come knocking at your doors. I am talking about tigers. Recently at Jagan Lake City University, outside the gates, a tiger and 2 cubs came till the gate. It's very common. A tiger a leopard got electrocuted because it was trying to jump the fence. Now, the thing is that who has encroached? The leopard, the tiger, or we have encroached on their territory? We are expanding concrete jungles like anything. But the sad part is that we have to carry the advertisements of all the real estate wallas, of new farmhouses, of huge buildings. All these have to be done for revenue generation. We have to do it. What kind of buildings are coming up? How eco-friendly are they? We talk about about the water crisis. So much so that the government has even set up a Jal Shakti, ministry of Jal Shakti. You have thousands and lakhs of women who carry the pots on their head and walk for kilometers to fetch a pail of water. We see those images every year. We have tanker mafias, which are hugely linked to politicians in many states. These are happening. But what are we doing about them? Are there discussions? We talk about farm crisis. The farmer crisis is not just one bill. That seems to be at the core of all the discussions today. How many of us we talk about the agrarian crisis, we talk about farmer suicides, but are we looking at the reasons for that? Are we looking at the reasons for farmer indebtedness? We are not. What are the reasons? What about irrigation, long-term projects? So we go for short-term soaps, and that's what we, kind of highlight. How many of us are talking about non-conventional energy sources? It is even today, unfortunately, just a fad. It has not become a national movement, which it ought to be. We have an ever-growing population, which is bound to put a lot of constraints on our resources. But are we looking at alternative options, alternative models of development? Who is talking about it? So sustainability has to become a movement. But unfortunately, I remember long time back there was a foreign journalist who was based out of Delhi, and we had organized a farewell for him. And he said something very important. So we asked him during the farewell that he was posted in many Asian countries, African countries. How was his India experience different from other countries? And he said two things. He said that one is that I am really moved by the fact that even if the most tumultuous developments take place in India, I know that the barracks and cantonments remain silent. Even the worst political turmoil do not have any impact on your barracks and your cantonments, which means that we have a highly professional armed forces, unlike many Afro-Asian countries. Siddharthji would be knowing it better. He comes from the Rashtriya Indian Military Academy. He has a army school background, military school background. So this is something laudable. We have one of the most professional forces in the world. But the second aspect, he said that I have never seen a media so much obsessed with politics. This is the second thing that he said. Politics is important, but to the extent that every debate seems to be veering around on television only around politics. I don't see the kind of charged up debates on developmental issues, on sustainable developmental issues. Hardly you find any resonance in the evening prime time debates on development related issues, on our Millennium Development Goals. Where have we reached? What has been the journey so far as a country, as a people, as a society? What are the things that we are doing, we are looking at? I mean, every government in Delhi, Siddharthji has covered Delhi like anything. He knows Delhi like the back of his hand. Tell me one government which has not promised a clean Yamuna, a beautiful riverfront. It has happened in Sabarmati in Ahmedabad. It has happened with Gomti in Lucknow. They have been able to do it. But we in the national capital have never been able to move an inch forward on that.